Today on Here for the Right Reasons, Wells Adams reveals which ladies from Clayton's season he wants in paradise.
And you know what? I might need Sally's fiance down there. He wasn't even on the show, but you know what? Let's give him a shot, guys.
Plus, Shanae takes down Elizabeth after Shrimpgate, and Clayton makes a strong connection with Rachel. We've got that plus so much more on today's Here for the Right Reasons. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here with Us Weekly Senior Editor Sarah Heron. Sarah, welcome back.
Thanks, Christina. What an episode. I mean, there's just so much to unpack here.
Yes, there is a lot to get to, but we want to revisit your conversation with Wells and Ben.
Yes, Ben and Wells talked a little bit about paradise, who they've been seeing on Clayton's season. And, you know, Wells has the power and he's already manifesting who he wants to see on the beach. So here's what he had to say about that.
Wells, is there anyone from this season or who we just saw in Michelle's season that you would want to see in Mexico?
Absolutely. Don't know their names, but the girl that was engaged, got to get her down to
Sally.
I need Sally there. And you know what? I might need Sally's fiance down there. He wasn't even on the show, but you know what? Let's give him a shot, guys. Excited for that. There was a girl that was talking to another woman who looked exactly the same as her. They were both blonde. She started in the third person. Don't remember her name, but I want both of them down there immediately. Like, is it Chantel? I can't remember.
It was Shanae and Cassidy, I think.
She went to Shanae into third person.
Yes.
Her down there. And then there are some people from the past that I want to see back, you know? I want to see Peter down there, maybe. Who knows what's going to happen? Because, you know, Becca did something for us this last season that no other lead had done, which was create a precedent where leads can come down to paradise. And that made for a lot of fun. And
it worked for her.
It worked amazing for her.
She's
And,
really happy.
yeah. And Thomas is awesome. Like, he got kind of a bad rap the first time around, but he's a super sweet guy. So yeah, I think we've got nothing but like amazing options for paradise this season.
Love it. I actually talked to Jesse Palmer a couple hours ago. And I asked him if he wanted to be involved in Bachelor in Paradise, if he was gunning for your job, and he didn't make it seem like he was. So how does that make you feel? Well, it's good to hear.
Thank God. Oh, thank God, Jesse. You don't want the 17th job this year. All right. Listen, I like Jesse a lot. We worked together kind of before he was announced as the host of The Bachelor. He's a super sweet guy. He's very, very good at his job. He's very good at his ESPN job as well. So, but yeah, maybe that's because too much sun down there. I'm not sure if his complexion could handle all that.
Like he
UV.
burns easy.
Yeah, he looks like he burns really easy. So yeah, you know, you can sit this one out, Jesse, if you want.
Well, something tells me we will definitely see Shanae versus Elizabeth once again in paradise.
Clayton's girls are giving paradise auditions just beautifully. And I think we will see a lot of them on the beach. I really do. I'm confident in that.
Confident. All right. Well, let's get into last night's episode. First up, our Bachelor buzzwords. What summed up the episode for you last night?
I mean, winning, I guess. Not that any of them really are winning, but Shanae just kept saying it. And whether it was the actual football game or the game of this show, her just outlook on herself. There was a lot of winning comments. It was very Charlie Sheen.
Yes, totally Charlie Sheen. Mine obvious, Shrimpgate. Never thought that we'd be talking this much about shrimp on The Bachelor, but here we are. I am over it, but it's still going on. And we're going to talk more about it, but I cannot believe this girl is still here.
I can't believe it either. And I can't believe the shrimp got as much carryover. Like, I knew they were going to still bring it up, but I feel like they said shrimp in this episode more than they did on the last one. And that didn't feel like it was going to be possible.
No, definitely didn't. So weird.
Let's talk about the love connections, though, because I think it's pretty clear this episode. I know there's going to be more to come with the three albums, but it's hard to imagine he says it to anyone else because who are you shipping this week? I think it's pretty clear.
Pretty clear. I mean, we both agreed on this one. Rachel and Clayton, they had a very obvious connection. I feel like we've been talking about her since like night one, and they've seemed like sparks were flying from the moment that she kind of stepped out of the limo, but they really connected. You know, she opened up about being a pilot, and he basically had the question that we all have. Why is somebody that's, successful, good looking, pretty much is everything in the package, why are you here?
He pretty much said, you're too good for this show. Right. You're too good for me. Yeah. Why are you here? It was kind of crazy. But at the same time, like you said, first night out of the limo, there was definitely sparks there. She's been getting the lovey music this whole time. I remember last week's episode, very brief moment, but they turned up the like sweetness. on her scene. And I just really feel like they were like lust at first. I don't know what it was, but they were all in on each other. And he was literally like begging her, like, don't be over with me tomorrow. Like, it sounded like this like weird little desperate, like,
yes.
I don't know, like kind of high school thing, but like you couldn't deny the sparks, I guess. I don't know. It felt like it escalated very quickly.
Very quickly. And now it's kind of hard for me to picture him saying, I love you to like you said, 3 women. And we're going to, let's talk a little bit about we'll talk a little bit more about the teaser a little bit later on, because I feel like we're finally starting to piece some things together. And those Bachelor producers, they got us.
They're good, man. They're good.
Good. All right. Well, let's talk about some one-liners of the night. Who did yours go to?
I mean, I think this the whole like first 20 minutes was just filled with chaos, but I did enjoy like the screech up. He's so overwhelmed. He can't even have a cocktail party. Like only on The Bachelor would those words like be muttered. Like Clayton, overall, like how do we think he's handling this drama? Because the Elizabeth Shanae sit down, he was just sort of staring into space, and I couldn't decide if he just like didn't know what to do, if he thought that like if he looked one way, like it would get him in trouble. Like I wasn't sure what he was even thinking, to be honest, besides like get me out of here. I don't know.
I felt like that too. And I even felt like that at the later the group date party, when all the girls kept talking about Shanae, and he was like, I thought we were done with this. I'm so over it. It does seem like he just wants to kind of not have the drama, but then he still keeps Shanae around. So I'm confused about his mindset and what he's trying to accomplish here. He does seem like he genuinely wants to make connections, but he's not, getting rid of the problem.
Yeah, I think he thinks maybe it's one of those things that's like, okay, Bachelor, drama's going to happen. I take care of drama. We move on. Next storyline. But like I think he's like confused why it's not working. Like we did this, like move on, new storyline. He's not getting that like the women can still kind of pull fast ones on him or bring up whatever they want, and they're going to be produced to say stuff too. Like I think he like is trying to keep up, but is just doing a bad job. But what was your line specifically?
Mine was like same thing in the first 20 minutes. Like cocktail party was canceled over shrimp. Like come on, like
they were just weird, bizarre. It was like ad libs, like when you put in random words, like this is not real life.
It like gave me like Vanderpump vibes when it's like, it's not about the pasta. It's like, it's not about the shrimp.
But it is about the shrimp, and it's about the hot tub and where you were sitting. It is very Vanderpump. I feel like they've thought about hot tubs and positioning and food. And but it's never about what it's about. So
right. Very true.
What about thirst? A lot of thirst this episode.
I mean, everything that Shanae did this episode, was so thirsty, especially coming back and crashing that group date cocktail party. Like you just don't do that. Yes, I'm sure producers egged her on. It was like, you should really go and defend yourself against all these women. And, it was just such an uncomfortable moment when she kind of came in and she was like, I'm here. And he's like, you're not supposed to be. But yes, everything that she did was so thirsty and kind of just taking Elizabeth down, which I'll talk more about later.
Yeah, I think with Elizabeth and Shanae, like it's clear like Shanae is the problem. Mm-hmm. However, Elizabeth, like by the end of it, like I was ready to see her go too. Her like emotional breakdown over her best lifelong girlfriends that she met 5 minutes ago, potentially leaving because of something she was involved in. Like it just came off to me like, oh, this is going to look really bad on the show. Like she's hysterical because she's now realizing there's been several weeks or days or whatever in a row that she's been pulled into a room to talk about Shanae. Like she's not an idiot. She knows this is going to be a major storyline on this show. Mm-hmm. And she's spiraling and crying and trying to make it seem like she's just so devastated for her friends that like they didn't get time with Clayton because of something she did. And even like the whole thing, like I do believe there probably is something for Shanae to feel like she's walking around this house, like everyone's whispering about her and not looking at her, and she offers them shrimp and they don't answer, they giggle. Like that must be horrible. Right. Did she bring it upon herself? Yes. Yeah. But I do also think Elizabeth is maybe playing a little dumb with maybe, I don't know, like she could have handled the confrontation better and taken the high road. Like you can't argue with that. Instead, she started going tit for tat with Shanae. Like you're never going to win. Like, you can't do that.
No, that is true. And it's like, you can't be mad that is how somebody is feeling. So yeah, now I'm starting to see a little bit of Shanae's side.
Don't get me wrong. I would be so frustrated too. But like at the same time, I just feel like the crying was a little much for me.
The crying was a little bit much. much. This whole episode was a bit much, and it had too much going on. And I'm like, you know how I feel about all the girl drama. I'm like, I just want to fast forward and figure out, get me to hometowns. I want to see how this thing ends, because even like if you look online, there's really no spoiler. So I have no idea how this thing is going to end.
I mean, if it's not with Rachel, then color me fooled by this. But yeah, what about cringe? Just to wrap up the drama.
Rolling up on some random barbecue, like that is so weird. Like,
who were those people?
Who were those people? I still don't understand it. They just went through these trees and like, here's a barbecue. We're just gonna stay here. Like, so weird.
He even said, he was like, this is something, to like get to know each other, to get to know these people that we don't know together. Like, that's like beautiful. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
It's like, where, like, producers do better. And also, I mentioned it before, but Clayton's reaction to Shanae crashing the party was pretty cringeworthy too.
Yeah, it was. He's not always thinking with the head. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. How about you?
Mine was this was a minor thing, but I don't know if you noticed when he was talking to his friends when they first got to Texas, Clayton, like at one point he was like, yeah, like I know my wife's in this room. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we get down on one knee, bro. But then like 2 seconds later, he was like, when it gets down to 4 or 3 or 2 or 1, I'm going to be confused. So he's like, dang, I'm going to get married. But also of the 14, 18, however many left right now, I could really go for any of them. Like it was just all over the place. And I think it was a foreshadowing moment to what we're going to see.
Which is going to be a hot mess.
What about roses? Us weekly roses.
Roses.
Of course, we didn't get a real rose ceremony at the end, but who gets your Us Weekly rose?
So I did have Elizabeth, but after listening to what you had to say, I'm going to change my mind. I do feel bad. Like, I do feel like she should at least get an apology from Clayton, because this was definitely not all her fault. But mine is we're getting back on the road, new cities. We're finally leaving the Bachelor Mansion. We went to Houston. So exciting. But at least this is definitely feeling like a traditional Bachelor season, and it feels good again.
I agree. And mine is similar. The 2-on-1, based on the promo, I was just talking about on the podcast last week that I felt like we haven't had a 2-on-1 in so long. Mm-hmm. And that if there was ever a Bachelor contestant for a 2-on-1, it is Miss Shanae. You would have thought it would have been Elizabeth, but it looks like Genevieve steps up and, slides in there. Thank you for that. So yeah, I'm excited for 2-on-1. I'm always down for 2-on-1.
Always down for 2-on-1. I'm going to bring up the teaser here, because we see in the teaser that it's Shanae and Genevieve standing there. When it cuts to Clayton, he was like, I was intimate with the 2 of you. Did you notice, or the 3 of you? Did you notice that?
No, I noticed. I saw Shanae, but there's no way that happens with them.
No.
Right?
So I think that was just the magic of editing. So we have no idea who he's actually saying this to. I think that's my theory.
Okay.
That's my theory. I don't know.
That's a good theory. I also think what if this whole thing is I hope it's not, but what if conspiracy theory time? What if he's just saying that to see how they react, but it's not even true or something? What if it's a game?
Oh my God, imagine that would be so messed up.
I'd be so mad.
I'd be so mad. But yeah, so I feel like, well, it's definitely, I don't think that he is intimate with Shanae and Genevieve next episode, but stranger things have happened on The Bachelor. So who knows? Yeah. All right. Who do you want to see packing their bags?
Okay, I like Sierra. She's beautiful, and I think I really liked her in the beginning, but I feel like she's just taking this, takedown Shanae, taking it over a little bit too much. She's maybe enjoying it a little bit too much. Obviously the girls were caught, talking about her, talking about Shanae in the hotel room. That's just life. It's The Bachelor, whatever. But I feel like she's taking a little too much enjoyment in it, and I'm kind of over her. And I don't feel like if you're going to spend all your time talking about it, I know it's just what we see, but it is what we see. So I'm over you. Because Gabby, I feel like is doing a decent job of she's annoyed by Shanae, but she also when you see her with Clayton, she talks with Clayton about herself. I don't know. I feel like there's better ways to do it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Mine went to Clayton because he was just a hot mess this episode. Like you said, he is all over the place, has no idea what he wants, doesn't really know how to handle the drama. Kind of looks like a deer in headlights at some points, but Clayton had to go home for me this week.
Yeah, I get it. Clayton is going to be in for a rough couple months on the internet, I think. So I hope he's scaling back.
I think so. Feel bad for him, but at least it seems like he can kind of poke fun at himself. He is very good on social media once the episode is airing, and he's seeing a lot of things for the first time too. So I think his eyes are kind of open to what's been going on behind the scenes.
if this is a women tell all where they actually go through certain things, because sometimes they kind of brush over stuff and sometimes they harp on random things. Mm-hmm. But I feel like there is a lot of things that Clayton's learning watching it and that the girls are learning watching it. So I think it would actually be a very interesting one if they took the time to go through it. Because like somewhat justice for Elizabeth needs to be served because she got sent home and Shanae didn't. But like also, I don't know. I think that they're going to feel maybe a little silly watching some of the stuff they got worked up over. So I don't know.
Definitely, especially Shrimpgate. Well, Sarah, thank you for running down all things Bachelor with me as always.
Thank you, Christina. I can't wait for next week. We have the rest of the season's going to be a doozy.
I'm thoroughly enjoying this train wreck of a season. Bring it on.
Bring it on.
All right. Well, for much more on The Bachelor, head on over to usmagazine.com, listen to Sarah's podcast, and keep commenting, keep subscribing, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.